G'day champions, Plum here, and welcome back to this week's vendor reset, the greatest on the interweb. It's June 24th, and today's vendor video will cover my top picks, hot ticket, interesting items, and must-buy gear for the week. Remember to show your support if you enjoy or find this video helpful. A simple like is all that it takes, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. With that stuff out of the way, champions, let's get stuck straight into these vendors. Kicking things off this week, we're going to start at the countdown vendor where we have a rusty LMG. And we've also got the Henry chest piece with a skill tier headshot and health, not very good. Both of these items, however, will be available at your Cassie Mendoza vendor from tomorrow for regular credits. And the third item here is a Dark Winter. This is a DZ exclusive and an absolute cracker. Definitely buy this one, roll that damage to armor to DTOC because it is your best in slot attribute. If you fancy any of these items, they will be here all week long and they will cost you 75 countdown credits each. Hopping on over to the Haven to see the lads, and first up we have Marco, so we'll check out his guns. Pretty average. And for the gear stuff, kind of like gloves, skill tier, skill damage, status. And the Gila holster here, just roll that skill damage to armor regen, perfect for a headshot regen build. However, that armor roll would take a lot of optimizing. Hopping in next door to see our old mate Roy, and normally he's got at least one thing worth picking up. The Overwhelm talent here on an LMG might be worth grabbing. This was a new talent that was added to our library just a couple of weeks ago, so you might not have it yet. But unfortunately, the rest of the gear here looks pretty terrible. There is a Swadokia holster here that you could make all red and double crit if you really wanted to. At our White House vendor, we have a closer chest. This one's got armor, hazard protection, and explosive resistance. As we quickly take a look at the other items here, you've got Streamline on a pistol for your library. But unfortunately, that's about it. Let's move on. At our clan vendor this week, the named item is the Mechanical Animal. Not bad for your hybrids and your skill builds. For the gear set pieces, we've got an Umbra Mask, weapon damage and hazard. Breaking Point knees with max weapon handling, and we've got Foundry knee pads as well, armor and repair skills. Quickly gonna have a squiz at the rest of the gear here. Pretty average and underwhelming looking stuff. If you are a new player and you're struggling for crit hit chance mods, maybe think about picking up a couple of these. They're 5%, 1% off max, which is 6%, so not too shabby. At the theatre settlement this week, we've got one of my favourites. It's a Tsunami shotgun. This one comes with magazine size. Swap it to DTOC. Browsing through the other items very quickly. Not much. Let's kick on. Over at the castle settlement, we have a Punch Drunk Mask. This has 11.3% weapon damage and 6% weapon handling with that fixed 20% headshot damage. Very solid item. Gonna be nice and quick and check the rest of the gear here. Yeah, pretty bad. Let's move on. Over at the campus, we've got another rusty LMG. You can swap that swap speed to damage to armor. A quick peek at the other items here. Maybe you're trying to light holster if you're looking at making some sort of an explosive build, but that is it. Righto champions, now it's time for our Dark Zone vendors, and we're going to start at DZ West, where we have these fantastic Murakami knee pads, the Emperor's Guard. I know a lot of players have been looking for those ones with extra armor regen or even crit, but the way the current game is in PvP at the moment, hazard protection is a top tier option. And honestly champions, for 152 DZ resources, these are well worth it. And we'll quickly check out the rest of the items here. Streamline on a rifle, but I think the rest of it is pretty average looking. Let's move on. Shooting on down now to DZ South, we have another DZ exclusive SMG, and this one's the apartment. Pick it up if you need it. A quick browse of the rest of the gear here. This Shiny Monkey backpack is actually really interesting if you like making your hybrid healer builds. And I guess if you did want to run focused on a Petrov chest, this could be an option as well, but I'm gonna skip it. And to round off the Dark Zone vendors, we have a Night Watcher mask over at DZ East. A quick squiz at the rest of it, pretty average looking stuff. And to finish up the week, we're at the new Brooklyn vendor. Again, if you don't have the Brooklyn DLC, you won't have this vendor. Quickly gonna check out what guns are up for grabs. And the gear, I mean, it's all just very average and pretty underwhelming. So sadly, that's going to wrap it up for this week's Vendor Reset Champions. If you're interested in the daily targeted loot, it is on your screen now. Remember, champions, that the Hollywood Global event is now active, so get stuck into that. I just want to take a quick moment to thank everyone for tuning in and make sure that you show your support by smashing the like button on this video, and if you're not already, make sure you subscribe. Everyone's support is always greatly appreciated. Remember to stay frosty, keep looting, keep shooting, and giving them hell. And I hope to catch you all in the next one. I'm Plum out.